Well, a very, very happy Friday morning. Welcome to the John Kentera Show. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on X. Hope everyone having a great week. Now, we got a lot to cover today as we enter into another big weekend of Padre baseball. The boys tonight, Friday night, will be in Milwaukee for a three-game series. Milwaukee playing pretty good baseball. Then the Padres come home on Monday night to take on the boys in blue. The Dodgers in town Monday, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. Padres will have an off day next Thursday, June 12th. And by the way, next Thursday night, we're going to do it again because a lot of you folks have asked us to do it again. The Padres are off that night. And coming off of the Dodgers series, we are going to do our Friday show on Thursday night. So we'll be on Thursday night at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8, and get all your questions, comments, concerns ready after the Dodgers series. Just a lot to unravel, quite frankly. I mean, it was a rough last couple of days up at Oracle Park, but I want to remind everyone, if you're tuning in for the very first time, please subscribe. We want to drive this membership up. We had Hacksaw on the other day, and I know a lot of you really enjoyed Lee, and we're going to get Lee on again here before too long, and I'm going to go on his podcast before too long as well. He does it with a gentleman by the name of John Riley, who's absolutely fantastic. But, you know, a lot of things came out of that, talking about the Padre Ball Club, but more than anything else, we want to get your subscription. It doesn't cost anything. Lee was talking about how he's got over 8,000 subscribers. We're working on 4,000. He's been doing the podcast for, I don't know, over 2 years, well above what we have. We've been at it just a little over a year. And we're working towards 4,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, please like, and please turn on notifications. And again, we're live 3 days a week, normally Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. And then when the Padres are off, we're going to try to sneak in our Friday show on Thursday night to give the fans a little time to kind of exhale and get ready for the next series. But please turn on the notifications so you don't miss our program. Okay, let's get to the series up in San Francisco. Things were looking pretty good the first couple of days. Padres, you know, not driving in runners when they're in scoring position. The Padres awful in the series, but they won 2 and they lost 2. But you go back to Thursday night. They had that game won. They're up 5-0, and they could not hold the lead. They win Monday night, 1-0 in 10 innings. They'll take it. Tuesday night, they pulled it off again in 10 innings, 3-2, and then they let the game slip away on Wednesday night. 5-0 lead, lost 6-5, and then yesterday, Manny blasts a 2-run homer, his 350th of his career. We're going to talk more about that here in a minute. Padres have a 2-0 lead in the third. And then the Giants come back and score 3 runs in the bottom of the third, and that's the way it ended, 3-2. Padres 4-game series, 6 for 32 with runners in scoring position. That's under 200. That's not getting it done. You go back to Wednesday night. Padres out-hit the Giants 12-8. They were 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position that night. Man, it was brutal. Padres were up 5-0. The Giants chipped away, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 3 more in the 7th. I thought Nick Pivetta pitched pretty damn well. Now, his final line was not good because Jason Adam came in and really struggled. And after that appearance, they gave him a Thursday off. But Jason Adam had pitched in 9 of the previous 14 games, and he did not look good, wasn't hitting his spots. Everything was up over the middle of the plate, and he got whacked pretty good. The 1 inning, 2 hits, he got charged for 1 earned run, but a couple of other runs came in that he inherited from Pivetta. Pivetta's final line was not good, but I thought he pitched pretty well. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, 5 strikeouts. Served up that 2-run homer to Matt Chapman. Nick, a no decision, 3.16 ERA, getting the job done. Jason Adam, a rough night. Wandy Peralta pitching a little bit better, got his ERA under 4. He's down to 3.95 right now. Fernando had a big game, and then he followed it up on Thursday going 0 for 4. But Wednesday night, 3 for 5, his eighth double, a couple of runs scored, his 12th stolen base. And I really thought that might get him going. But then yesterday, he hit one deep ball. And by the way, you wonder why the Giants can't sign free agent sluggers. Did you see the ball Fernando hit on Thursday afternoon in the eighth inning? He hit a bomb out to right center field. And, Don Orsillo made it sound like it was going to, be in the bay, which you never hit a ball to right center field and hit it into the bay. But it got to the warning track. I mean, if I was a free agent power hitter, I would never ever think about going to the Giants. If for me to go to the Giants, they would have to drastically overpay because your power numbers playing in that ballpark are going to really suffer. But Fernando had a good game on Wednesday night, 3 for 5. Gavin Sheets, another big game, 2 for 5, 4 RBIs, a 2-run triple, a 2-run single off of Kyle Harrison. And that was good to see because Harrison's a hard-throwing left-hander. Jake Cronenworth, 2 for 3, a walk, did a nice job. But overall, Padres couldn't get it done. They get beat 6-5. And that one stung. That one really stung because that's a game you had won. And you're not going to get that game back. And then Thursday afternoon, Manny hits the home run. Padres are up 2-0, and boom, the Giants come right back, and their half of the inning put 3 runs on the board, and they hang on. And I got to tell you, Robbie Ray was fantastic. He gave up the home run to Manny, but Robbie Ray is just on fire. He picked up the win. His record now 8-1, dropped his ERA down to 2.44, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk, 9 strikeouts. Just was on his game all day long. And then that bullpen. That bullpen was amazing. Randy Rodriguez, 1 inning, a couple of punch-outs, got an ERA for the 25-year-old right-hander of 0.64. Camilo Doval, who struggled in the game Tuesday night, but came back yesterday on Thursday and did a hell of a job. 1 inning, gave up a couple of hits, but struck out Cronenworth to end the ball game, picked up his 8th save, his ERA at 1.61. The back end of the bullpen of the Giants is really, they're overpowering. This Randy Rodriguez guy is just amazing, and Doval, when he's on, he's really, really tough. But Padres really weren't able to get it done. I mentioned Fernando 0 for 4, Luis Arraez 1 for 3, a run scored. He had to come out for the second straight day. Manny swinging the bat great, 2 for 4, his 2-run homer, his 8th of the year. Jackson Merrill, a rough day, 0 for 4, a strikeout. Iglesias doing a great job, had a couple of hits. Lockridge had another hit. He was hitting 229, but you know what? He battles. I give Brendan Lockridge a lot of credit. He's not a great offensive player, but he plays his ass off, and I'm okay with him being a backup outfielder on this ball club. Dylan Cease, let's talk about Dylan. And we're going to talk more about Dylan when we look at his overall numbers. But Dylan Cease, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Got called for a pitch time violation. ERA at 4.72, record 1-5. Just not getting it done. It's that simple. And he took a shot off of his right forearm, and I don't know if it got the elbow or not, but he stayed in to get another out there in the 5th inning. But he got whacked by Matt Chapman on a 104 mile an hour line drive, and I give Cease a lot of credit for staying in. Normally the trainers try to talk you out of it, but he wanted to stay in. But we'll see how it feels later today. But nonetheless, 2-2. You'll always take a 500 trip, and of course they got 3 games now in Milwaukee over the weekend. But man, when they got on that plane, they had to have said, "Man, we left a couple of missed opportunities." Padres should have won all 4 games. Really, I'll be honest. I don't think the Giants are very good. I thought the Giants were playing better earlier in the year. They made a lot of roster moves during the series against the Padres. Dominic Smith, of course, came up with a big hit yesterday. Just got out of his minor league contract with the New York Yankees. Dominic Smith's been a pretty good major league hitter, kid from Southern California. Did a nice job there for a while with the Mets. But, we'll see what the Giants are able to do. But pitching-wise, they're pretty good. But I just don't think they have enough of hitting. I really don't. Okay, I want to talk about Manny Machado because you either love Machado or dislike Machado. Machado's an acquired taste. There's no doubt about that. He came to San Diego with probably not the best reputation for a variety of reasons, not being good with the media early in his career. Remember, this kid came to the big leagues at 19 years of age from Miami. And he's a tough, hard-nosed guy. And, he beats to his own drum, and that's fine. And Manny's done a lot of good stuff in this town. But he's an acquired taste. And sometimes his body mannerisms give off not so good of vibes, I think, to people. They get upset the way he runs down the first baseline. But you know what? I would tell you, watch other ball clubs and their star players run down the first baseline. It's a lot different these days. They want to keep guys healthy. They're making a lot of money. They don't want on a routine ground ball to second base. They don't want guys sprinting full bore and blowing out a hamstring or a quad muscle or a groin. It's just a different dichotomy now. But Manny Machado is on his way to Cooperstown. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He hit his 350th home run on Thursday. I know he's not having a great year statistically, defensively, because he's made 11 errors, but he is still making Hall of Fame type plays. He's going to be in the All-Star game. He has to be in the All-Star game. The numbers he is putting up right now are some of the best numbers of his career. He's pretty much a 280 type hitter, 275 to 280 type hitter. But the guy's got power. Remember just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking, Manny's only got 3 home runs, and I said, you know what? He's still going to hit 25 to 30. He got 8 homers. He's had 5 homers here in a very quick period of time. Now that it's starting to heat up, he's always predominantly been a slow starter. There was 2022, I think he got off to a hot start and stayed hot pretty much the entire year. But Manny's numbers right now are just awesome. 317, 382 on base percentage, 8 homers, 31 RBIs, and an OPS of 880. He turns 33 on July 7th. He's going to be here for the remainder of his career, doing a great job. I don't think we can complain about Manny Machado. There's times where oh man, you got to come through here, and he'll swing at the first pitch and pop it up or foul out. But you know what? Get in line. That happens to everybody. The guy's not perfect, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So I hope you Padre fans and baseball fans that come out to Petco Park or watch the games on TV enjoy who this guy is, because he's a hell of a player. He's got 8 stolen bases. He's not a guy that's going to, pilfer 30 sacks. But he's a smart guy. He got great baseball instincts. That's why he got to the big leagues at 19 years of age with the Baltimore Orioles. You know what's amazing? He's got more home runs, and he's played in more games for the Padres now than he did for the Baltimore Orioles. Think about that. I would have thought it would have taken a little bit longer than that, but he's been here a while now. He's put together some great years. Still searching for his first National League Gold Glove, and because of the 11 errors, I don't think he'll get it this year. Wouldn't it be amazing? He ends up with 14 errors, and that's if he only makes 3 the rest of the way. If he won it this year, because he won a couple in the American League, but he's never won one in the National League. Arenado's won a lot. Cabrian Hayes has won a Gold Glove. So, we'll see where it goes. But Manny right now, he's having a hell of a year. Hell of a year. If it weren't for guys like Ohtani and Pete Crow Armstrong and Freddie Freeman, he would probably be in the conversation for most valuable player. But those other guys are just putting up massive numbers right now. So I just wanted to give Manny a little love. 350 round trippers. That's amazing. Okay, we're going to take a look at the Padres starters. And I get asked all the time. Yesterday, I was on with Philly Billy Werndell on his radio show in Philadelphia. And we talked about the Padres and where they're at and with the Dodgers. And we talked a little bit about the Giants and Arizona. And Arizona playing a little bit better. I mean, they went into Atlanta and swept them 3 straight. In fact, they scored 7 runs yesterday on Thursday in the 9th inning to come back and win that game 11-10. Things are not going real well for Brian Snitker and the Atlanta Braves right now. But we talked a lot about the Padres starters. And also I was on 760 with Fletch and Sammy yesterday, and we talked a little bit about the Padres starting pitching. Overall, considering everything, the Padres starting pitching has been pretty good. I mean, you look at Michael King, and I know he's on the IL with the pinched nerve, and we haven't heard anything the last couple of days. Maybe we'll find out more today, but more than likely, we'll find out a lot more on Monday when Mike Schilt will face the media here in San Diego with the TV cameras in his mug. But Michael King on the IL, 4-2 and a 2.59, 10 starts, 55 and two-thirds innings. He's given up only 40 hits, 16 earned runs, walked 17, 64 punchouts, allowed 6 homers, a 1.02 whip. Numbers are fantastic. Just got to get him back on the mound. He pitching great after not a real great spring training. Um, but he's pitching great, and he's got an option for next year. But I'm sure he'll decline that and get a buyout, and then maybe the Padres will try to re-sign him. But this guy's going to make some money if he comes back and continues to pitch the way he pitched last year and so far this year. I don't think the Padres are going to be able to afford him. Okay, now you got Dylan Cease, who pitched yesterday. 13 starts, he's 1-5 and a 4.72. 68 and two-thirds innings, 66 hits, 38 runs, 36 of them earned, 24 walks, 85 strikeouts, giving up 8 homers and a 1.31 ERA. Dylan Cease is a free agent. You're not going to re-sign him. I told you before the season ever started, you're not going to re-sign Cease for 2 reasons. Number one, somebody's going to give him a sweetheart deal because they're going to think they can turn him around. And he's too inconsistent for me. You've got to find a guy that's more consistent. He has not won a game since April 2nd. It's been over 2 months since he has won a ball game with that ability. What is going on with him? Yesterday, he gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. Great. But the thing that bothers me a little bit, 68 and a third or in two-thirds innings, he's given up 66 hits. You normally want to have it where a guy is giving up less hits than he's pitched, and he has. But he hasn't dominated. When you go back and look at Michael King, 55 and two-thirds, guys have only got 40 hits off of him. And with the type of stuff Cease has, he should be much more dominant. The problem is when he gets into trouble, he starts trying to throw harder, tries to do too much with his slider, his knuckle curve, and it just goes from bad to worse. He loses command. Less is more sometimes in pitching. He tries to do too much. And I don't know if that's ever going to change with him. That's just who he is. That's his mental makeup. And we talk about Ruben Niebla. Ruben hadn't been able to get this guy turned around. And this is a big part. For a pitching coach, when you've got what should be your number 1 or number 2 starter and a front line starter, you got to get this guy turned around. But sometimes coaches can only take you to the well so often, and then that pitcher's got to be able to drink. And right now, Dylan Cease is not drinking. He's not making the adjustment. So not a great letter grade. I mean, I'd give him probably a C minus, D plus. King gets an A. He'd get an A plus if he continued to pitch, but he's on the IL. I'm not going to give a guy an A plus if he's not pitching. Nick Pivetta, I'll give Pivetta an A plus. He's done a great job. He's 6-2 with a 3.16 ERA and 12 starts. How about these numbers? 68 and a third, 51 hits, 25 runs, 24 of them earned, 19 walks, 76 strikeouts, and a 1.02 whip. I got to give him an A plus. Here's a guy that brought a 4+ career ERA to San Diego, and right now he's pitching at a 3.16 level. Done a hell of a job. Where would we be without Nick Pivetta? I mean, not only that, he has gone out and flat out dominated baseball games this year for the Padres. Gone 6-7 innings, taking pressure off of the bullpen. Then you got Randy Vasquez, 3-4 and a 3.99 ERA, doing a nice job. For what he has, he's doing a nice job. Now, he's pitched 58 and two-thirds innings, giving up 56 hits, 26 earned runs, 30 walks, a little bit high, 35 strikeouts. He's a contact guy. He's not going to blow guys away. He's not going to have 9 and 10 strikeouts an outing. Randy Vasquez, 3-4 and a 3.99. I take that. Now we'll see what he does in the start in Milwaukee. But to this point, he had 20 starts last year. He had a 4.87 ERA. This year, he got 12 starts and he's got a 3.99 ERA. He's a much improved pitcher. I'm not going to give him an A, but I would definitely give him probably a B minus. He gone out there. He tries to go deep into ball games. He's giving you everything he's got. So I'd give him a B minus at this point. If you cut down on the walks, I'd have given him a B plus. But he got too many walks. Stephen Kolek, been a breath of fresh air. Guy had a great spring training. Got optioned out because he's one of those guys that has options. Had a 7.11 ERA in the Pacific Coast League and has come up to the big leagues and been fantastic. 6 starts. He's got a complete game shutout against the Rockies in that 21-0 victory. He's throwing 36 in the third innings, 33 hits, 14 earned runs, 12 walks, 27 strikeouts, giving up 3 homers and a 1.24 whip. Being your 5th starter, I'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Right now, he's getting a solid B, a 3-1 record and a 3.47. And then you got Kyle Hart. Now, Kyle Hart, what I should have done with him, I should have broke down what he does at home and what he does on the road. Because at home, he's been really good. His last start wasn't great at home, but prior to that, his start at home were unbelievable. But he'd made 6 starts. He's got a 2-2 record and a 6.66 ERA. He's down in AAA right now. A 1.36 whip, 25 2/3 innings, 29 hits, 19 earned runs, 6 walks, 17 punchouts, giving up 8 home runs. I'm not giving up, by the way, on Kyle Hart. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not giving up on him. Let him continue to work on his command. Maybe work trying to get out left-hand hitters. Been pretty good against right-hand hitters. Left-hand hitters have hurt him. But right now, I would give him an incomplete. Yeah, or I'd have to give him probably a C minus. But I'm going to side with the incomplete at this point in time. We'll see what he does when he comes back up. Okay, let's get to some live Coach's Crew questions. Always enjoy this part of the program. What do we got here? Casey King. Good morning, Coach. I heard rumors Walker Buehler could be on the trade block and even heard Dodgers could be in the mix to bring him back. Do you see him getting moved looking forward? I would think so. I mean, I don't think Boston's going to do anything. I could have wrote down about this deal with Jarren Duran, their leadoff hitter in Boston who plays the outfield. And if he came to San Diego, he'd have to play left field. But the thing, I don't know, why would Boston want to trade Jarren Duran? I believe after this year, he would still be under control for at least 2, if not 3 years. Why would they want to trade him? He's one of their better players at this point in time. As far as Walker Buehler, he signed that 1-year deal with Boston. What did he get? Was 1 year, $15 million, I believe. It wouldn't surprise me if the Dodgers found a way to bring him back. I mean, Dodgers, quite frankly, they got really, I thought, outplayed by the New York Mets. They ended up going 2-2. They came back yesterday. They were down 4-0. They came back and won the ball game. But their pitching right now is really rough. I mean, I watched Kershaw the other night. At times he looks pretty good, but he doesn't really right now have that put away pitch. He'll get 2 strikes on guys and can't put them away. Tony Gonsolin, if he can get by the first or second inning, he's been pretty good. He's had a hard time early in ball games. And then yesterday they had Landon Knack, and he gave up 3 homers very quickly to the Metropolitans. But the Dodgers ended up coming back and winning a couple of those games, and they now have a 2-game lead over the Padres. But it wouldn't surprise me if Walker Buehler got traded. He'd probably like to come back to L.A. I think he was kind of hoping after the World Series and how he came in and really kind of was the star of the final game. He thought the Dodgers would probably ante up. And I thought the $15 million that he got from Boston, I thought that was about right. But the Dodgers, they wanted to go out and get Blake Snell and do a few other things, re-sign Teoscar Hernandez. But it wouldn't surprise me. Dodgers have the wherewithal down in the minor leagues to send Boston a nice prospect. And again, I believe Buehler's only on that 1-year deal. So that wouldn't surprise me, Casey, at all. All right, what else we got on Coach's Crew? David, good morning, Coach. Listening to you from Grant Pass, Oregon. Well, I want to know, is it raining in Grant Pass like it's raining here in San Diego? I woke up this morning and I'll tell you what, I'm all for the rain. We need the rain, especially during fire season. We need some rain. But I wonder if it's raining today in Grant Pass, Oregon. It's nice to have Coach Kentera fans in Grant Pass, Oregon. Spread the word. David, actually, Padres could have lost all four or won all four, but the Padres need to be more consistent a lot of their game. Totally agree. I thought the Padres looked better than the Giants in the series, but the Padres are leaving some wins out on the field right now. I went to the game last Saturday night. That was the night they got shut out 5-0. That was a brutal baseball game if you're a Padre fan. I mean, just a brutal game, boring. And we went to the game and we're sitting there on the Western Metal Supply third deck rail, eating dinner, watching the ball game. We were there for a birthday get together. Nice couple invited us. And my wife goes, "Man, this game is boring." I go, "Yeah, it's boring because the Padres can't get a hit." Padres got 2 hits that night. They got an infield hit with Fernando leading off in the bottom of the first, and then they got a base hit a couple innings later by Martin Maldonado hitting one up the middle. That was their offense that night against Bailey Falter and the relief corps of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Padres are not playing great baseball right now. But you know what? They're kind of banged up. But again, at the end of the day, nobody cares. Nobody really cares. And I also think that the Padres, because of their swagger, I think there are a lot of people out there kind of root against the Padres. But the Padres have the wherewithal. When they're healthy, they're a pretty damn good team. But they got some real injuries, and they've got, and we're going to get into injuries here in a minute. They've got some really big concerns, I think, coming up here. I mean, don't know anything about Darvish. We don't have an update on King, and we'll get to some of the other stuff here in a minute. What else we got? Steve Tay as coach. I think Dylan's problem is mental. His body language says it all. Steve, 100% agree with you. Absolutely 100% agree with you. It's a mental thing. His mechanics, because of the mental thing, his mechanics start breaking down. And like I've said before, when he gets in trouble, he starts to try to throw harder. He loses command. His ball flattens out. He tries to throw that breaking ball harder. He likes that knuckle curve, the slider, and everything goes awry. 100%, it starts in between the ears. There's no question about that. And Steve, you were a pitcher. You know what it's all about. I appreciate that, Steve. Good call on that. Okay, let's get to the injury update. Okay, the Padres, I don't know if they're downplaying this injury with Xander Bogaerts, but I've been told he's been battling this for a while. And this is an injury from a year ago that forced him, what did he miss, about 2 months last year? Left shoulder soreness. Now, I can tell you this. One of the things, if I was the hitting coach, and I'm not for the Padres, or if I was working with any young man, I'm not a big one-arm follow-through guy. These guys, they take their top hand off the bat and they do this. While you're watching me, do that right now. Just swing, let go, and pull that arm around. You tell me that doesn't put a lot of pressure right there on the shoulder. Okay? Once upon a time, when I had my baseball school here in San Diego, Johnny Lynch, the great safety of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's playing baseball at Stanford. And we were working in my batting cage. And Johnny was doing that. He didn't do that when he played for me in high school. I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, they want me to do that at Stanford." I go, that ain't who you are. I'm not a big guy on cloning every hitter the same way. And I go, "Let me ask you a question, Johnny." I go, "When you're doing that, does it bother your shoulder?" He goes, "God, coach, come to think of it, yeah, it does bother my shoulder." I go, "Then quit doing it." And Johnny was always a two-hand follow-through guy. And all the guys that I work with, I want them to use two hands on the follow-through. And Bogaerts, when he doesn't hang on to that bat with his top hand, he doesn't properly get his hips turned. And it's like I was saying the other day. I mean, there'd be some things I would change with him, and I think he can be better. But the first thing he's going to need to do is he's going to have to get away from that one arm follow through because that's putting a lot of pressure on the shoulder. Now, I don't know if that's what caused it, but I can tell you this, it's going to irritate it. So we don't know whether or not he's going to be able to play today, tomorrow. He's listed day to day. Okay, Luis Arraez had to leave the ball game Wednesday and Thursday, and they're calling it tightness on the backside of his right knee. Need Luis Arraez. Okay, it's his right knee, so being a left-hand hitter, that's his front leg. Okay, it's a lot better that's his front leg than his back leg because of the rotation. But we got to get Luis Arraez back in there. So again, he's listed day to day. He said he plans on playing Friday, which is today in Milwaukee. We'll have to wait and see. Jake Cronenworth nursing a sore left forearm after being hit by Eric Miller's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball Tuesday night. He's going to be sore, but hey, he was able to play. He's been hit, by the way, 52 times in his Padre career, which is a franchise record. I don't know if that's something you want to put on your resume, but he's gotten plunked 52 times. And then Dylan Cease getting hit on the right forearm yesterday. He was able to finish the fifth inning yesterday, but I wonder how he feels today as he wakes up in Milwaukee. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's get to the pitching matchups starting for tonight. Tonight's game at 5:10 at American Family Field. You got Padres right-hander Randy Vasquez, 3-4 and a 3.99, going against right-hander Chad Patrick, 26 years of age, 3-4 and a 2.97. Both pitchers have thrown very well early in the year. Now Saturday, the game will get underway at 4:35. You've got right-hander Stephen Kolek going for the Padres, 3-1 and a 3.47 against 36-year-old veteran left-hander Jose Quintana. Boy, he's really reinvented himself the last few years. He's 4-1 with a 2.77. And then getaway day, 10:05 on Sunday morning at American Family Field. Padre right-hander Ryan Bergert coming off a great start last time out, 1-0 and a 2 even ERA, going against the veteran 29-year-old right-hander, former Cleveland Guardian Aaron Savali, 1-1 and a 5.19 ERA. Hey, Bergert pitched great. His first major league start last Tuesday night against San Francisco, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and he had 4 relief appearances before that. So 9 innings this season, only giving up 2 earned runs. So there you go. Okay, let's get to some questions from our last program. Let's get to our coach's mailbag, and then we're going to get to our standings here before too long. Let's get to coach's mailbag. T-Fuel, how do MLB players make themselves available to the media? Give us the inside story. Give us the good, the bad, and the ugly of interviewing. Okay, I think that comes from our comment with Lee Hamilton the other day. When you're covering a ball club every day, you eventually, you get to know everybody. And when I was covering the Padres every day, kind of starting, I guess it would have been the 96 season. And, pretty much up until 2023, 24, maybe, out at the ballpark all the time. And for 13 of those years, from 2004 to 2015, I was doing the pre and post game show. So everybody knew me. Coaches knew me, ball players knew me, clubhouse attendants knew me, ticket takers knew me, security guards knew me. And, you're kind of a fraternity. But the way it has gone now in professional sports, it's not just baseball. The NFL and the NBA, hockey's still a little bit looser. Hockey guys are good to deal with. They normally come from small towns and have that small town mindset. But when you walk into a clubhouse, you see Trevor Hoff, you can walk over to his cubicle and talk to him. Obviously, Tony, I spent a lot of time with Tony. I used to get kicked out of the clubhouse at 6:15 by Eddie, the old security guard at Qualcomm Stadium. Hey, coach, it's time to go. And they're playing at 7:05 in those days, and I'd be in there until 6:15, and then I'd get out of there. But, the conversations we had were priceless. And even like a guy like Khalil Green. A lot of people thought Khalil Green was unapproachable. That's so false. I had a great relationship with Khalil. Some people got fed up and just didn't want to deal with him. I'd go over and have great talks with him. I remember the one night when Merv Rettenman got fired as the hitting coach of the Padres. Khalil was so upset. He was so upset because he loved Merv. But you just develop relationships. And, especially when a guy like Tony Gwynn or Trevor Hoffman would sign off on you being a cool guy and a guy that they enjoyed having in the clubhouse, the other guys, they signed off as well. I could have walked around that club, which I did. I was in the manager's office all the time after ball games with Boch and Towers and Buddy and, talking ball. AJ Hinch, when he was working in the front office, had a great conversation with him one night. You just develop relationships. You're around batting practice, the players see you. But nowadays, there's a lot of places to hide. And guys get to the ballpark, they can hide in the lunchroom, they can hide in the training room. They don't want to talk to you, they can go out in the bullpen. And you don't have, as a member of the media, you don't have as many opportunities to get one on one. They got all these ropes around the ballpark now, around the batting cage. You can't go here, you can't go there. Heck, we used to go up and lean on the cage and talk to the skipper. Now the skipper, meets 3.5 hours before games, which is a little bit too much. It should be about 2.5, but it forces everybody an extra hour of their day because the manager wants to meet at 3:30 rather than at 4:30. It's all about the manager. The manager normally can meet whenever he wants, but 3.5 hours before a first pitch is a little bit much. There's guys like Bernie Wilson or Kevin Acey or the guys that are writing day to day or the TV guys, Bob Scott, they got to get out there a lot earlier. And there's really no need for that. I mean, 4:30 was normally the standard, 2.5 hours before game time. But now the Padres are doing 3.5. So that hinders guys that don't have to go every day. They're not going to go. But at the end of the day, you got ball players that are really good with the media. You got others that do it because they kind of have to do it from time to time. And then other guys that just hide out. And I'll be honest with you, the guys that I don't want to talk to them anyways. I'll tell you a great story. Travis Jankowski. I did an interview with him on a post-game show. And because that guy is a caring human being, he come up to me the next day when he saw me. Because when I did the interview, I did it over, I was in, I think I was at Lolita's doing the show with Randy. And Travis comes up to me the next day at batting practice and says, "Hey, coach, was that interview okay?" I go, "Yeah, Travis, it was great." He goes, "Well, I just want to make sure you were happy with it." Now, there's a caring guy that wants to do the right thing and handle things the right way. And I could go on, and I could tell you some of the turds that I've dealt with in this business, but I'm going to save that for another day because I don't like to throw people under the bus. I know who they are. One guy in particular was such a turd that I went to Tony and said, "Man, this guy's a real jerk." He goes, "Don't worry, coach. He's not going to be around much longer." That's what Tony said to me. And this guy had a locker right next to Tony. And I went to Tony. I go, "Man," and again, I'm not going to use the guy's name. I go, "This guy's a real jerk." He goes, "Don't worry about it." He goes, "He's not going to be around much longer." And by the next homestand, the guy was gone. I don't think I had anything to do with that, but I'd go complain to Kevin Towers about guys. "Man, this guy's a real jerk." He goes, "Don't worry about it. We're going to take care of that." Because Towers was all about having good guys in that clubhouse. He wasn't going to have a bunch of turds. I can tell you that. He didn't care how good they were. If they weren't going to do what was best for the ball club, he wasn't going to keep them around. But anyways, I hope that helps you a little bit. Okay, what else we got from the last show? Let's take a look at, Pac San Diego with the Aztecs in the Pac-12. Does that boost their ability to recruit? Unless they have NLI money. I don't see this being a big difference. I don't think they're going to get a big TV contract. The NIL, you got to raise money. And I think, like Lee and I talked about the other day, I think it's kind of the glorified Mountain West Conference. What's going to be different about it? What is going to be different about it other than Gonzaga is going to play basketball and some of their other sports because they don't have football? I mean, you got Oregon State. You played Oregon State last year. You played Washington State last year. What's the difference? If you don't get a big TV contract, what's the difference? This is not the Pac-12 that we grew up with. And like I said, if you don't have SC and UCLA in the conference, it's not really the Pac-12. They made the conference. They tore the conference. Well, nobody cares about Stanford. Nobody cares about Cal. I mean, yeah, maybe Washington a little bit. Arizona State, maybe a little bit. But once SC and UCLA decided to leave, the conference was done. Stick a fork in them. And so now they'll have the on their letterhead and their website, "We're a member of the Pac-12." Great. But so is Colorado State, Boise State, Utah State, Fresno State. Glorified Mountain West Conference, the way I see it. I don't know how you folks out there see it. Okay, what else we got? We got one more at least? Got one more. Okay, we're going to get to the standings. These are always fun. National League West. Dodgers sitting at 38-25, a 603 winning percentage. They're not playing great. They're not getting great pitching. They're exhausting their bullpen. Padres at 35-26, 2 games back. Well, hopefully they get some of their walking wounded back on the field tonight. San Francisco Giants 35-28, 3 games back, only 1 game back of the Padres. And how about the Arizona Diamondbacks? They've fought their way back to 31-31, 6.5 games back. And then the Rockies. Hats off to the Rockies. They won and swept the series down in Miami against the Marlins. First sweep all year. They're 12-50. Look at that, 25.5 games back right now. Take a look at the week so far. Dodgers split their 4-game series with the Mets. All 4 games were like the Padre Giants series by 1 run. Arizona trying to right the ship went into Atlanta and swept the Braves 3 straight, 8-3, 2-1. And yesterday, that amazing comeback with 7 runs in the 9th inning to walk away with an 11-10 victory. And again, Colorado, they won 3 straight over the Marlins, 6-4, 3-2, and 3-2. Dodgers, they're going to be in St. Louis for a 3-game series. Padres in Milwaukee. And let's face it, when we rejoin you on Monday, going to be very, very interesting because we'll see where the Padres and Dodgers are at that point in time. But we got a big 3-game series. And again, remember, next week, next Thursday night, we're going to be on at 7 to 8 o'clock at night on Thursday with the Padres having an off day. Okay, I want to get to my weekend. I got a very interesting weekend. And I may see some of you folks. I don't know. But my weekend starts tonight. I'm going to go to dinner with my wife in Oceanside. And we've been invited by the Maricosta College 1975 state championship baseball team. So we're going to go up there, and there are going to be a lot of guys I know. And I coached at Maricosta. Not only did I play there for John Seeley, I coached there for 3 years with Coach Seeley. And a lot of these players that are going to be there tonight, I watched when I was a junior and senior in high school. And some of those guys are kind of reasons I went to Maricosta. There are a variety of reasons why I went there. The style of basketball that Coach Skip Enger allowed in those days, run, gun, and have fun, and the legendary John Seeley to play baseball. And had 2 very nice years there athletically before I went to USIU to play basketball. But going to have dinner tonight with the 1975 Maricosta College State Baseball Championship Ball Club. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to be out at West Hills High School. They're going to have opening ceremonies at both West Hills High School and Hoover High School tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The opening ceremonies for American Legion Baseball in San Diego. 100-year anniversary of American Legion Baseball, by the way. I'm going to be the master of ceremonies out at West Hills. Dennis Ackerman, the former San Diego CIF commissioner, will be the master of ceremonies at Hoover High School tomorrow morning. We'll have a nice opening ceremony at West Hills. We're going to honor my buddy Randy Jones. And one of the divisions is going to be called the Randy Jones Division. And at Hoover High School, Billy Capps, who in 1954 was the MVP of the San Diego team that won the American Legion National Championship. And Billy Capps still in his 80s now, doing great. He'll be at Hoover High School tomorrow morning. And he had a great baseball career, but then he became a member of the San Diego Police Department. So that'll be at Hoover. I'll be at West Hills. Dennis Ackerman will be at Hoover. Randy will be with me at West Hills, and Billy Capps will be with Dennis Ackerman at Hoover High School. So looking forward to that. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to be at 3 o'clock. I will be at Maricosta College for the inaugural Hall of Fame class. And very excited about this. It's long overdue. Athletic Director Pat Conahan and his staff doing a great job of getting this thing started. Some of the people that are going to be inducted: Chris Chambliss, the former great New York Yankee. He will be there. Willie Buchanan, the former great defensive back of the Green Bay Packers, the Chargers. Joe Palpal, the 1975 state baseball championship team. will be inducted, and Clete Adelman, the basketball coach, athletic director, Roxanne Demick, who had some incredible teams in women's volleyball and women's basketball. She's going in. And my coach, John Seeley, going in posthumously, unfortunately. Coach died many years ago. An incredible man, a man that definitely made an impact on my life and so many people's lives. I have been asked by his widow, Mary Anna Seeley, to talk on behalf of Coach Seeley and the Seeley family. And I got to tell you, I have spent a lot of waking moments late at night when I've been trying to sleep. Really, it started last Sunday. And I've had a hard time sleeping because there are so many stories about when I got recruited to Miracosta, when I played for Coach Seeley at Miracosta, when I came back later and he offered me a coaching job. And I coached with him for 3 years. I was with him the day before he passed away when they were working on trying to bring the baseball program back to Miracosta, and they don't have a program any longer in baseball. And there were so many great players. Kevin Towers played, Chris Chambliss, Doc Edwards, Ray Smith, who played in the big leagues with the Minnesota Twins. There were so many great players that went through that program, and it's really a shame they don't have a baseball program any longer and haven't had for many years. But I'm looking forward to getting acquainted with a lot of old friends. And on behalf of Coach Seeley, I'm very much looking forward to talking about the impact that he made on my life and a lot of other people's lives. So I've got a very, very busy weekend, but it's going to be a really exciting weekend. And surprise, surprise, it's all going to be wrapped up around baseball. So there you have it. So that's going to do it for me today. I think I gave you a lot to chew on. Again, make a programming note. We'll be on Monday. We'll be on next Wednesday, and then we're going to have our Thursday night get together at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8 on June 12th. That'll be right after the Padre Dodger series at Petco Park. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's hope our Pods can get at least 2 out of 3, get back, within a game or two against the Dodgers, and we'll take our chances starting Monday night against the boys in blue. Have a great weekend, a safe weekend. I'll talk to you again Monday morning at 9 a.m. on the John Kentera Show right here on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit those notifications. Talk to you Monday, everyone. Bye-bye.